A freezing rainstorm hammered the tin roof of the tiny cabin as Aaron struggled to quiet his shivering daughter, Lily, wrapped in a blanket that was far too thin for a night this cruel. Shadows trembled against the cracked wooden walls, the power flickered every few minutes, and the old heater coughed more than it warmed. Just when Aaron thought the night couldn't get worse, a faint knock echoed through the storm, hesitant, desperate, almost lost beneath the thunder. When he opened the door, a woman stood there drenched, trembling, clutching nothing but a torn backpack to her chest. Her eyes, wide, tired, and full of fear, met his, and in that instant, his life shifted in ways he couldn't yet understand. She whispered only 3 words, "Please, help me. If you believe in kindness, compassion, and second chances, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness. Your support helps these stories reach more hearts." Aaron hesitated only for a moment, fighting against the instinct to protect his daughter from any unknown danger. But something in the woman's expression, an almost childlike fear mixed with quiet dignity, pulled him in. He led her inside, gave her a seat near the flickering heater, and handed her the last dry towel he had. The cabin, barely big enough for the 2 of them, now felt impossibly small with an extra person, yet somehow warmer. Lily peeked shyly from behind her father's arm before offering the stranger a small smile, a smile the woman returned with visible gratitude. She said her name was Maya, but little else. Not where she came from. Not why she was out in the storm. Not what she was running from. There was a tremble in her voice that warned Aaron not to ask too much. Aaron had never been the type to turn away someone in need. Life had already beaten him down more than enough, losing his wife during childbirth, losing his job after the factory shut down, losing piece after piece of the stability he'd once managed to build. But through it all, he had Lily, and Lily had him, and that bond was the only reason he kept going. Offering shelter to a lonely stranger felt strangely natural to him, as if he'd been preparing for this moment through every hardship. Maya seemed uncomfortable accepting kindness. Even after Aaron insisted she stay the night, she kept mumbling apologies, eyes darting around as if expecting someone to burst through the door. She ate only a little when Aaron offered food and insisted Lily take the larger portion. Something about her generosity, even in fear, tugged at Aaron's heart. She wasn't just a woman in trouble, she was someone carrying a weight far heavier than her soaked backpack. The next morning, the storm cleared, but the world outside remained cold and unforgiving. Maya tried to leave, but her legs weakened the moment she stepped outside. Aaron caught her just before she collapsed. He checked her fever, too high, and insisted she stay until she recovered. She protested, whispering that she couldn't bring trouble to them, that she didn't want anyone to get hurt because of her. But Aaron didn't budge. He had seen enough pain in life to know when someone needed protection. Days turned into a week. Maya slowly regained strength, yet her fear never fully left. She helped around the cabin, washing dishes, fixing the curtains, cleaning the yard, doing little chores Aaron never had time for. The home began to feel more alive than it had in years. Lily adored her, following her like a shadow, laughing more freely than she had since her mother passed away. And Aaron, he found himself watching Maya when she wasn't looking, noticing her quiet resilience, her gentle patience, the softness in her eyes whenever she looked at Lily. He felt a warmth he hadn't allowed himself to feel in a long time. Still, the unanswered questions lingered like a low hum in the background. Who was she? Why was she afraid? Why did she flinch every time a car passed on the distant road? One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, painting the sky in fading shades of blue and violet, Maya finally spoke. She told Aaron that she had been working as a live-in caretaker for an elderly woman in a wealthy district. The woman had treated her kindly, like family, but after her sudden passing, Maya was left vulnerable. The woman's relatives, greedy and cruel, accused Maya of theft without a shred of evidence and threatened to ruin her life. Maya fled before things turned violent. She had nowhere else to go, no one to turn to, and no money to defend herself. Every step she'd taken since running away had been fueled by fear. Aaron listened quietly, anger simmering inside him, not at her, but at the injustice. She didn't deserve to be hunted for a crime she didn't commit. He promised she was safe here, but Maya shook her head with tears pooling in her eyes. She believed her past would eventually catch up to her. 2 days later, it did. A dark SUV rolled down the muddy path leading to the cabin. Aaron noticed it first through the small window. His heart dropped, and Maya's face turned pale as ash the moment she heard the engine. She whispered, trembling, "They found me." Aaron didn't think, he acted. He grabbed Lily, tucked her behind him, and told Maya to stay close. When the SUV door opened, a man in an expensive coat stepped out. He didn't look angry, he looked relieved. He introduced himself as the grandson of the elderly woman Maya had cared for. His voice shook as he apologized, explaining that the accusations were lies fabricated by other relatives fighting over the inheritance. He had been searching for Maya to clear her name, give her what the elderly woman had left her, and bring justice to those who had wronged her. Maya crumpled to her knees, overwhelmed by the sudden reversal of fate. But the biggest shock came next. The man handed her a folder containing legal documents, letters from the elderly woman, and a will, stating that Maya was the rightful recipient of a sizable inheritance. It wasn't just money, it was enough to change her life forever. And yet, when Maya turned to Aaron, her eyes said something else entirely. Money didn't matter. The cabin, small and broken as it was, had given her something far more valuable: safety, warmth, a family she never thought she'd have. In the following weeks, Maya didn't leave. She chose to stay with Aaron and Lily, using her newfound resources to rebuild the cabin, support Aaron's job search, and create a home filled with laughter instead of fear. Aaron couldn't believe how drastically his life had changed just by opening his door to a stranger in the rain. And as for Maya, she often said that no inheritance could compare to the kindness that saved her, kindness that came from a man who had so little yet gave so much. Their small family grew stronger, bonded not by blood, but by compassion, gratitude, and second chances. And every evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, Aaron found himself looking at Maya with the same feeling he'd once thought he'd never experience again: hope. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness. Your engagement truly keeps these emotional stories alive and spreading. Before you go, comment below: would you help a stranger in need if they knocked on your door on a stormy night?